Diego from Colectivo Felix.
Diego. Oh my God. Okay, guys. I'm going to take a little time, but it's not going to be so long. And I'm going to go back to 20 years ago. So I started this crazy idea, not crazy idea, but 20 years ago I started thinking about being a chef. And that's took me to start studying. But at the same time, I was studying and learning how to be a chef. I opened delivery food in Argentina. I was living in Argentina at that time. But at the same time, I met an American girl from this area. And we both start thinking about creating something new. We came back to California for 2 years to San Francisco. And there in San Francisco, I learned basically the farm to table concept, basically the farm to table concept, the ideas of working with farmers and learning about being close to the community that you are from. Those 2 years end up, and then we went back to Argentina with the idea of opening something that I had in my mind that was something that was very crazy at the time and still is. It's opening a restaurant in my house. So my friends, my parents, and all my family were like, so you're telling me that you're opening a restaurant inside your house with no sign? How will people know? And I was so convinced, and I was so passionate. I have so many tools that California gave me about the food, the techniques, and the ideas of a cuisine that I want to go, that I didn't even think about it. So we started inviting friends. Those friends started inviting other friends. And little by little, the ball starts moving. And then in Buenos Aires, we will start pushing the boundaries of Argentinian cuisine, because I was doing an Argentinian restaurant in my house for 20 people only, 3 nights a week. That it was only fish and vegetables, no meat in Argentina. And but I was so convinced about learning about ingredients that are more about, because in Argentina, in a certain point, or in Buenos Aires, in a certain point, everything was local. So I was trying to reach more about indigenous ideas, indigenous cuisine. And there was not such an indigenous cuisine like we can see here in this continent as Mexico or Peru. You know, there are pre-Columbian cuisines that they are very developed. But in Argentina, it's like in the same idea like here in the States. You got to do a lot of research to finally find the ingredients that you're looking for. More the local, you know, like indigenous ingredients. So at that time, we were very popular. The New York Times came many times, so we started getting big. People from all around the world started coming to my restaurant. That was my house. Many people from, Michelin star restaurant, we were called like this boutique restaurant, 20 people only. So people calling like, I want to go there. It's like, in a certain point, from their side was so exclusive. From my side, it was like, I have only 26. Like, this is my house. I have only 26. I have a backyard. I grow my herbs there. And from there, we start moving. So one of those crazy nights, one of the guys asked me a question. He told me, why don't you come to my house in New York to do a dinner? I was like, that's a great idea. So that was Casa Felix, my house. And with that question, Colectivo Felix started. So I'm going to make a little pause about telling you what Colectivo means. Colectivo in Argentina means the public transportation. So basically, here you say the bus. In Argentina, we say the Colectivo. So with that concept of me driving this virtual bus, start inviting friends to these tours that was barely start moving, we create this gypsy cooking traveling band of chefs that travel around the States doing dinners. So from Buenos Aires, I traveled with my wife and my beautiful wife and her two beautiful sisters. If you don't know that, then I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna keep talking. No, because I have another story about that. But so
You only have 2 more minutes.
yeah, that's right. So with that idea, we start touring to the States, like a band. So I start inviting chefs, and we start touring for 12 years. We were a gypsy cooking traveling band from Buenos Aires. 6 months of Buenos Aires, 5 months of Buenos Aires, and the other months in the States. So for 12 years, we were chasing the sun. Of course, this caravan starts getting heavier, we start having kids, my wife, so she said, why don't we move to California? I was like, but where? So one of my wife's sisters, they are the owners of Home Restaurant in SoCal. So they invite me to open the restaurant. So we closed Casa Felix, we moved to the States, we helped them open the restaurant, and the good thing and the bad thing was that I was keep touring. So we already have 2 kids, I was living in Santa Cruz, and I was touring the whole year. So was a great money business. So business-wise was great because I was, I go to New York, Instagram and money was great because you go to New York, you go to Washington DC, you go to Seattle, people fly you, they pay you, you go parties, and my wife was here taking care of the kids. So that was not so much fun for her, but it was a lot of fun for me. And she couldn't even say anything because we're not talking about numbers, but in one weekend I come back with a lot of money. So how do you stop that? How do you stop? I was happy on one side, but in the other side I was like, I live in Santa Cruz. I don't know anyone in Santa Cruz. I want to be part of this community, but my business is in New York, my business is in Chicago, my business is in LA. So I'm always traveling. How do I stop this train? Because I can't open a restaurant here, or I can open anything here. The tours are very easy to me to do. So how do you stop that? I didn't know how to do it. I couldn't stop that. And some miracle happened, that was COVID. So COVID stopped that for me. So from that, it's like, so now what? I'm here in this community, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna, all this creativity that came out from me, how I'm gonna make this, what I'm gonna do. And luckily, Kelly's Bakery, they closed the kitchen a couple of months before COVID, and they offered me the kitchen. So I was like, okay, how I'm gonna create this Latin American fine dining wannabe, ideas of what I want to do, what I was doing in Argentina, how I'm gonna do that in a language that people from Santa Cruz can understand easier. So I say, okay, make all these crazy ideas in an empanada. That's something that people can understand, will be easier to work with. And I opened Fonda Felix. So Fonda Felix now, it's the base, or the kitchen is the base of this octopus idea, because also I'm an entrepreneur, and I think all these ideas that I had, I was talking to someone else about all these ideas that I had before COVID, now they're easy to explain, but for me it was like, everybody was asking, you're a chef, why don't you have a restaurant? I want to do many things. I don't want to have one thing. If you have one business, now everybody's, as we say in Spanish, es muy fácil hablar con el diario de la mañana. It's like it's easier to talk with the newspaper from yesterday. Because how do you do a business if you have a restaurant, you have only one thing, people come. If you have a kitchen, you have many things to do. You can be a restaurant, you can be a delivery, you can do when I have my empanadas in Humble Sea, I keep doing my events, so my business diversified. And there's another thing that my chef friends were telling me, It's like you can't be doing everything. And yes, that's why the idea of Colectivo. The idea is to invite other people to be part of this collective. And right now, everything is opening up. So I'm starting inviting my chefs, friends from all around to start doing dinners with me. And that's what we're doing on once a month at the courtyard at Kelly's Bakery, or my courtyard now. And so I think we are in a place now that everything is opening up. Everything is, I think it's a new beginning. So with this new beginning, there's new ideas. And with these new ideas is things that we can share. You know, we already talking about with Pana Food Truck to start doing things together. And the idea of the Colectivo always been for me, it's a collective that I can share with us. At the Colectivo, I drive this bus, of course. It's a Latin American inspired concept, but I invite other chefs, other people to be part of, and it's working really good. So thank you very much for inviting me. And yeah, thank you for letting me be part of this community, because now I'm start feeling that I'm part of it. Thank you.